Welcome back to Ithaca BJJ. Today, we take a look at a group of purple belts who are tearing up the mats. Also, stick around because we have an unfortunate accident on the mats at the end, and we want your input about what could have been done differently. Let's get started. So first, we start here with the Bomber and Jerry, and check this ankle pick out. This is something that Bomber has gotten really good at. He fakes the guard pull, drops down, and picks that ankle and takes Jerry right to the mat. Now, the Bomber and Jerry both have been featured a lot on this channel. And by now, if you're a fan of this channel, you know that Bomber is not only tough, but he's also extremely technical. And when you get someone who's tough and technical, you're in for a fun role. Now, when he gets on top, what he is really good at applying slow, crushing pressure. I hate having this guy on top of me. Now notice here how he's simultaneously controlling Jerry's head, his waist, and blocking that leg from getting inside to recover guard. Notice his head placement. This makes it extremely difficult for Jerry to maneuver and reestablish any advantageous position. Again, notice the head placement. Notice the control of Jerry's head. And he's able to get this mount position because he has blocked Jerry's vision. Now look right here how he brings his feet together to prevent Jerry from separating them and reestablishing any kind of a guard. And here he's working in this choke. But despite being smothered, Jerry does a pretty decent job of hiding his neck. So, instead of applying a bunch of strength and power, Bomber transitions to another attack. And here, we see that he's looking to attack that arm. Notice him pushing his weight forward, still applying that top pressure. And this is where he gets a little bit sloppy. And now it's Jerry's turn. But see, notice how he catches him with that leg. Bomber has gotten excellent with these sweeps, and he catches me in this stuff all the time. But Jerry's not one to sleep on. And just as he's ready to set in the attack, the round ends. Now here's Bomber again with Jeremy. And this is a technique that Bomber keeps trying and he keeps losing it. His hips are too high. And Jeremy just takes him down. Now, in Bomber's defense, he was rolling here. Not only was he tired, but he was also injured. But this guy does not know how to say no to a roll. And Jeremy is extremely heavy. Now, Bomber does a good job there getting a little bit of space, but he just can't get that knee inside. Notice here how Jeremy blocks that knee and prevents Bomber from reestablishing side control. Now Bomber tries that ankle pick here, but it was a sloppy attempt. And Jeremy just drops his weight on him. Now here's a power move that Bomber tries a lot. Usually it works. But with someone like Jeremy, who is extremely heavy and knows how to distribute his weight, you have to try a different technique. You have to try a different strategy. He finally manages to get out here, but not without a lot of effort at first. Now this is awesome, and this usually works pretty well for him. Notice how he traps that leg there, and he sends Jeremy flying, but they end up here. And this is another one, also a common technique that he uses, but Jeremy is just too heavy. So Bomber, when you're dealing with someone this heavy who knows how to distribute their weight, you have got to use more finesse. And now we're back to Jerry going with Bryan. And this is where Jerry really shines. When he gets to that north-south position, he is just so patient and just hangs out there. Notice how he uses this arm here to block Bryan's leg. This is something you're going to see common among purple belts in this video. Blocking that inside leg to prevent guard recovery. And now he goes north-south, and he's just going to be patient and remain heavy. Now, Bryan outweighs Jerry probably by at least 50 pounds, but it really doesn't matter. Once Jerry gets to this position, it's all over. And we see the submission coming here. Those in the know, well, when you know, you know. That's a paper cutter. And now it's Bryan's turn to apply some pressure. What Bryan has gotten extremely good at, and he's another one who I hate having on top of me. He is excellent with distributing his weight and applying top pressure. And at this point, Jerry's feeling it. So again, wrapping up that head, has good head position of his own. And this is what we affectionately call in the gym Bryan's position, because once he gets in that hard half guard, this is where he likes to go. And again, he's looking for the same choke that Bomber was going for. But Jerry's pretty good about protecting that neck, even when he's in really bad positions like this one. And now here's me and the Bomber. Now watch this. Same thing that he did against Jeremy. Now I'm always looking for that belt because I've got about 3 different takedown options from there. So Bomber goes down, and for some reason we just come back to our feet. I don't remember why. So here we go. There I am with the belt, and there he goes. Hips are too high, and he goes down. This is almost identical to what Jeremy pulled on him. And this is something I pull off often when we're on our feet. So here's a pretty favorite closed guard opener I like, but he catches me there. Notice how he has my leg hooked, and he's ready to send me for a ride. This is a sweep that he is probably hits about 8 out of 10 times. But I decide I'm not going to go down so easily. I grab this leg, which allows me to find my way back on top. And I'll hop over, and now we're inside control. Not bad for a 55-year-old man. And now we're back on our feet. Now I'm going to do something very similar here with a slight modification. I have that belt, but instead of going all the way over, I put my leg out, trip him there, which brings me right back up on top and brings me into his guard. Now he's going for my neck here. Normally I would defend this, but he doesn't really have good hand position, so I'm not that concerned. My chin is low and my neck is protected. I'm not worried about him getting there. Now, he makes a really nice adjustment here, something that we've been working on a lot in the gym lately. He's going to place his foot on my hip in order to sink in that choke, but my neck is not accessible here. So still, I'm not worried. I'm just sort of biding my time and waiting for an opening. And now I just want to slowly get to his right side. I've already gotten over the one leg. But he catches me here. Again, he loves the sweep. Now, what I'm going to do here, normally I'll just sort of give up that sweep. But I decide here, and I'm talking to him here, I decide here, no, not this time. I'm just going to apply a lot of pressure. So while he wants to sweep me, I'm going to apply excessive downward pressure to make him give up this sweep attempt. Like right here, I'm just applying pressure here. Right there, right on his chest. Guys, knowing how to use base and pressure and body position is essential in jiu-jitsu. So here we are again. One of my favorite moves here. I love to go for knee on belly, get a reaction. Now this, I'm rolling with Matt Knight. And this is where a big mistake happens. And Matt almost gets really, really hurt here. Now here, he's coming up for this single leg. And you guys know, when you go for my leg, I like to send guys flying. Now I'm going for a guillotine, but it's not there. So then I transition here and bam. Look at this. Here's the problem. His head starts off inside, which means we're just gonna roll backwards. So far, so good. But here's where it goes wrong. His head comes out, and instead of going backwards, I go to my side. And I have his arm, so he can't really base out and protect himself. So he goes face first into the mat. It was really painful. I felt so bad. You never want to be that guy who hurts your training partner. But Matt Knight is a real trooper, and he insisted that we continue the round. I refused, and he says, no, man, I'm okay. Let's keep going. So we start here in open guard, and he's going for the sweep that he's been working on. And here I'm being very careful here. In my mind, I'm thinking I'm not going to do anything that's going to cause this guy any more pain. And so I'm just kind of hanging out, waiting to see where this is going, looking up at the clock, because I really just want this round to be over at this time, because I'm still thinking about that face plant. And then the funny thing there is that my knee popped. So we ended up both having a little bit of an injury, but my knee popping was my fault, not his. So guys, what do you think? What do you think? What went wrong there? What did I do wrong in that roll that caused that face plant? That was not Matt Knight's fault. And I've looked at this over and over again, and I'm still not sure. But we're still friends. And guys, if you're enjoying these videos from Ithaca BJJ, please remember to like and subscribe. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers in the month of March. Thanks again for watching.